Greetings, friends. Oz here. And I love a good ghost story, don't you? Today I have got a ghost story coming at you all the way from planetOZ. This is a theory that could explain how we are able to see ghosts, and it might explain what ectoplasm is as well. planetOZ. Let me clarify at the top here that this isn't going to be a how-to see ghosts film. This isn't going to be about seances, Ouija boards, or the mayonnaise and fool's gold method so popular on planetOZ. What we're talking about today is a theory regarding the mechanics of seeing a ghost. In other words, what is literally, physically, actually, scientifically happening when one sees a ghost? How are they able to be visible and then invisible? And let's not forget the ectoplasm. What follows is an integration of esoteric topics as interpreted through the lens of planetOZ. As with all things, it is presented before your wisdom to be made with what you wish. Okay, here's our ghost. Her name is Lurleen and she haunts the library. She was reaching for a copy of the Da Vinci Code one day when she brought a whole mess of books down on top of her. Trapped beneath the pile, she survived for weeks by drinking her own urine and reading a copy of choreography that had fallen beside her. All for naught, though. She died and now haunts the library. So why can't we typically see her? Or we might even walk right through her while perusing the library. How would this be possible? Well, the short answer would be that she doesn't have a body. She's presumed to be only a consciousness. But if she's only a consciousness, then how would we ever be able to see her? There are countless stories that people have, accounts of encountering ghosts and being able to see them. So if even one of these stories is true, how? I'm going to render and upload this film at 60 frames per second so that you'll have the option to increase the frame rate. If you like, it might make some of the motion blur stuff that's going to follow a little bit more clear. Okay, back to Lurleen. Let's give her a first position here and a second position here. And as she moves back and forth, I'm going to add some motion blur. And if you're not familiar with motion blur, it's a feature of compositing software that allows us to imitate the blurry appearance of objects in motion when they are too fast for our eyes to see clearly. Okay, so as we watch her move back and forth here, I'll give you the number of frames it takes her to go one length, and you'll see that as the frames reduce, Lurleen moves faster and appears blurrier. This is at 60 frames. Here's 30. Here's 15. Here's 10. Here's 5. 4. 3. And 2. Okay, so I'm going to leave her at 2 frames here, and you can see that at this speed, she's just barely visible. And in reality, things can vibrate much, much faster than is possible to simulate with computer software. So it's easy to imagine that if Lurleen were vibrating even a little bit faster than is represented here, she would be totally invisible. You might say, fine. Vibration could explain her transparency, but glass is transparent and I still bump into it. So why aren't we all bumping into transparent ghosts all the time? This is a fair question, and an esoteric answer coming from the vibrational perspective we're looking at this is helped with the visual aid of quicksand. Sand has no problem holding you on its surface. But if you add vibration, you get quicksand. As the sand vibrates, it becomes like liquid. So the idea is that if we are vibrating fast enough, at the quantum level, we can pass right through things that would be totally solid to us at a lower vibration. It would appear that vibration can explain how we would be able to pass right through a ghost, and vibration would be able to explain how the ghost would be invisible. But how might vibration explain how the ghost would then become visible? For this, we got another visual here showing condensation. The glass of ice water is much colder than the room around it. Another way of saying that is that the ice water is vibrating much lower than the higher vibrating room surrounding it. So all about its form, millions of tiny droplets manifest and refract and distort the light of the room. So it may even reach a point where it would be hard for your eyes to discern that there is a glass there at all, leaving the impression that the form is made out of the condensation itself. Now, Lurleen is a thought form inspired by the Earth film Ghostbusters, and I found a cool animation inspired by the same. Our theoretical ghost, Lurleen, is an entity capable of raising and lowering her vibration at will. So Lurleen enters the comfortable room temperature library. She lowers her vibration far below that of the room, and now she's slowed down enough to interact with our material reality. She's vibrating so slowly, her form is basically made out of cold air, which creates condensation, which is then composed of tiny refracting droplets, which then distort the light of the room and allow us to see her. You might say it is as if her form is rendered out of the mist. If Lurleen gently departs our vibration, presumably this mist would just evaporate back into the air. But if she leaves in a hurry, it might be left behind in liquid form. So, is it possible that ectoplasm might be very real ghost stuff and also just water? These are all theories, but it's fun when a theory lines up with things that we've heard countless times in the many ghost stories people have reported over the years. So from the haunted library of planetOZ to whatever your haunt is, Godspeed. Go toward the light, Carol Ann. Go toward the light.